Hello guys, another problem here. Uh, let's see what can we do here. Basically what it's asking here is the magnitude of resultant force, and then it says is direction measured clockwise from the positive u-axis. I mean, it shouldn't say that, but it's okay. They are asking you an angle for the resultant force in the with respect to this u-axis. These are called non-perpendicular axis, u and b, and most of the time they are a nightmare for students. They go crazy when they see those type of problems. But let's just focus on the task that we have at hand. And I always solve these problems by drawing parallel lines. So I draw parallel lines to the forces or the axis, depending on what I want to do. In this case, if I draw this parallelogram, I know that by the parallelogram law, this is going to be my resultant force here. So basically, we know this value. This is 6. We know this value. This is 4, meaning this is 4, and meaning this is 6. If we find one angle, that will be sufficient for us, and we can solve it using the law of sines. One angle only. So let's try to focus with the angles. Let's see what happened in the overall picture here. I know this is 30 degrees because it's given. I know this is 30 degrees up to here because it's given. But we also know that the distance between the two axes, the angle between the two axes here, is 75 degrees. Meaning this angle here is 75 degrees as well. And that's correct. So this is 75 degrees, meaning this here is this part from here to here is 45 degrees, and this is 30 degrees, meaning we have 75 degrees as well here. 75 degrees. Once again, what I did is this. If this is 75 degrees, alternate internal angles, this is 75 degrees. And if this is 30 degrees and this is 75, this is 45. And if this is 45 and this is 30, this is 75, meaning this is also 75 because it's a parallelogram, 75 degrees. And I know these two angles, this angle and this angle are the same because it's a parallelogram. And if you add the four internal angles of the parallelogram, it has to be equal to 360. So I have 75 plus 75 plus alpha. These are the two angles. So alpha plus alpha, let's say this is alpha, this is alpha. Alpha plus 75 plus 75 has to be equal to 360. So that means that alpha has to be equal to, this is 360, this is 150 to 105. But anyway, let's do it just in case. Let's do it just in case. 360 minus 150 divided by 2, 105. So that means that every one of the angles is 105 of the other. This angle and this angle. Now if I have those angles there, basically the problem is solved because you have F1, this distance here. I say distance is forces, but basically we're using distances for that. Then I have this other one, which is this one, which is 6. And then I have the resultant force here. And then I have this angle now, which I know is 105. What else do we know? Do we know anything else? Do we need anything else? I don't think that we need anything else because we have these two. What else? This divided by sine of that equals this divided by sine of that. I can use the law of sines for that. I can use the parallelogram, the cosine law in order to find this one. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use the law of cosines to find that. Remember the law of cosines? And remember, I'm doing this live. I'm not rehearsing. I'm not copying. I'm not doing anything. So I told you before, I might mess up, and I will recognize it, and I will curse. So basically the law of cosines, if you have ABC, I'm gonna copy it again, it never hurts. And this is the angle between A and B. You can say that C squared is A squared plus B squared minus 2 times A times B, cosine of the angle between A and B. And this is the situation, perfect situation here to calculate R. So I can say R squared is equal to 6 squared plus 4 squared minus 2 times 6 times 4 times cosine of 105. So 36, 16, 36 plus 16 minus 1248 times cosine 105. That's this. So that will be R squared. If I take square root of both sides, it's elevated to the 0.5. And I can get this side equal to R. The resultant force is 8.03 units, kilonewton. So this is the first part, value of the resultant force. Now I know this value, 8.03. What else do we need? We need the angles. What angle? Any angle. I mean, I can calculate now this, and I can calculate this if I want to. Let's say that I want to calculate this angle beta, for example here. Then I can say that sine of 105 divided by 803. I'm sorry, remember the law of sines. I'm going to copy it again. A, A, B, B, C, C. Small are the angles, big are the sides. So the sine of A divided by the opposite side has to be equal to the sine of B, opposite side, sine of C, opposite side. Or you can flip it. You can say A divided by sine of A, and so on. So that's what I'm doing. Sine of this angle divided by the opposite has to be equal to sine of beta divided by 6. And from here you can calculate beta. So you can say 6 divided by the previous answer multiplied by sine of 105, and then you get 0.72. That will be the sine of the angle. If I take inverse of the that value, I will get 46.22 degrees. 46.22 degrees. Remember that angle, 46.22 degrees, is this angle. This angle. But we also established that this angle was 45. Now you have this. Look, I'm gonna try to do it here. This is B. This is U. And the resultant force is this here. And this angle that we just calculated, this angle was beta. That was beta. But now, previously, we know that this angle is 30, is given, and we know that the total is 75, meaning the distance from here to here is 40, the distance, not the angle. I always say distance, but you know what I mean, 45. And this is 46.22, so this little angle measured clockwise from the positive U axis, that's what the problem is asking, is the one that we're looking for. So that will be 46.22 minus 45. 46.22 minus 45 equals 1.22 degrees, and that will be the angle that we have to calculate. You know, not difficult, but you have to draw and draw and redraw and redraw. And that's my advice to you. When you have these, try to make it bigger. And if it's too crowded, too messy, do another drawing because you can miss something or you can know something if you do it correct. See you next video, guys. Have a good day.